At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and it's that time of the week. It's that time where we talk about all the worst stuff that's happened in comic books this week. And this is just a warning. If you do not like salty language, if you do not like exceptionally large amounts of satire, of
shit talk,
things of that nature, if you don't like sarcasm, this is not the Thinking Critical video for you. This video is not intended for you. This is intended for people that like to hear some of the bad things that happened this week with a funnier, more condescending edge to it. Of course, with me to talk about this stuff is the curmudgeon of Critical. He's in a good mood. He's actually in a good mood, people. But I am going to bring him right down with this segment. How you doing, Pele?
Fuck these people. I want to have a good day. I can't have a good day. I've got to talk about this shit. I got to talk about shitty comics. And I don't like talking about shitty comics. I like talking about good comics. Fuck these people. Anyway.
Well, it's my fault.
Where are we at? Where are we at?
You're so good at it. And obviously, I ruin every one of your Monday afternoons so we can have this video ready on Tuesday mornings. And we are going to talk about comics today, people. We're not going to talk about any news segments or anything. We're going to start out. We're going to talk about all the action going on Krakoa, all the orgy type things, the activities. Then we're going to transition over to the very lackluster, and I would say very shitty lead up to Empyre that's got no pulses racing. No one's frothing at the mouth for that bad boy. It feels like it's a DOA, and it's not even. Obviously it arrives next week, and then we're going to talk about some Bendis speak at the end because it sounds like maybe he's taking the piss out of the fans, or he's so mad he's taking the piss out of himself again in Superman this week. But Pele, first we got to talk about where all the action is in Marvel Comics. It's on Krakoa. We get to the end of actually a pretty decent issue of X-Force number 10. I hate it when they're doing all these plant-based villains, whatever. I think they're stupid, but this is the end of that story where they're in Terra Verde or whatever, and there's the pyramid full of plant zombie people, and it's actually a pretty decent episode. I was like, well, this is a good ending of the story. I'm glad we're done with it. Hope we can go fight Zeno again. And then all of a sudden, for the last 2 pages, there's Wolverine and Jean getting it on in the hot springs of Krakoa. And obviously, we've seen lots of indications that there's some type of sandwich action going on between Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Wolverine. We've also seen lots of indications that there are massive amounts of orgies going on in Krakoa. I don't get it. Like, am I an old fuddy-duddy? Why it's like this seems out of place? It felt very out of place in this comic. Why the fuck do they keep putting this in here? Explain this to me. I know you're into sandwich action.
Well, I like sandwiches. I just don't, I don't want a Wolverine Cyclops sandwich. That's gross, man. This is nothing to do about, it's not anything to do with, oh my God, you're just being homophobic. No, it doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with characters that have history. There's friction in that history, and they are not behaving the way that they normally behave. They aren't behaving in any way historically accurate way. It's ridiculous. This is absurd. I mean, it's bad enough that I'm trying to get sometimes parents to want to get their children to read these comics. Parents
God forbid children want to read comics.
God forbid any tween or anybody like that would ever pick up a fucking X-Men comic book, because the parents come in, oh, what's a good comic for my kids? I've heard the X-Men is really good. Oh, it would be really great for you guys, but unfortunately you've got Wolverine. Yeah.
Or the 90s.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. Now you've got Cyclops wanting some hairy Wolverine ass. And I just don't think that that's really, that's not really fitting for your 13-year-old child. And they just look at me like, this is not, what the hell is going on here? I don't understand why we have to have this wedged in. I mean, it's unnecessary. I mean, the comment
is it a shock factor? Are they trying to shock me? Because I'm not shocked. I'm kind of bored, and I'm wondering if should I even keep reading the books? This is stupid.
Yeah, I think it is shock factor. I think that they're just trying to say, "Oh, this is how close they're getting now. This is how, this is how much the X-Men have changed." Yeah, we get it. We got it like 8 issues ago. I mean, come on. Let's be a little bit. I think it's a lack of creativity. Honestly, I'm wondering just how far, how much mileage they think they're going to get out of this. There's no creativity involved. It's just, oh, well, we're going to have orgies and we're going to have this story, and if the story isn't good, maybe you can get off to the orgy scenes. This is stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason to trash up the books. There's no reason to trash up X-Men, but there we go. That's what we got now.
I think maybe they're trying to use it as a vehicle to further demonstrate that the X-Men aren't acting like they're supposed to, maybe because of Krakoa and stuff like that. But there's got to be a better way. Like you don't this gratuitous sandwich action that keeps getting thrown in our face that doesn't make any sense. And it's just like, why is this here? And it's become tiresome. It's becoming boring. And I'll be honest, it's almost emblematic of the whole Dawn of X franchise, except for a couple titles. I still think Wolverine is probably still good, but I've grown weary with most of it. I'm sticking around for X-Men and X-Force just because I like the writers, and there's been enough good issues in there, but they're trying my fucking patience, Paley. That's what I'm telling you. They are trying my patience. Are they trying your customers' patience?
Yeah, I mean, because we're slowly losing subs. I mean, and the more this goes on, and the more anti X-Men that they behave, the more people are turned off, the more people walk away. I started off selling about 80 issues, 80 copies an issue for X-Force, probably about 100 copies for X-Men. It's counting all the variant covers and all that kind of stuff. Now it's precipitously dropped to about 50 and 60. And it's like, okay, it's just, and there's, oh, well, it's just people, are tuning out, because the series is, No, that's not the way it works. If a series is good, more people come on to the series. Immortal Hulk proved this. You had a title that sold 18,000 copies in its number 1 issue, 22,000, 23,000 distributed of it. Then, within just 10, 12 fucking issues, the thing is selling 100,000, near 100,000 copies. Good comics sell. You don't need to apply this superfluous amount of TNA just to get people to buy this comic. Good comics sell. And I don't think that Marvel understands this anymore. Maybe they never did. It's absurd.
We're not done talking about Marvel here, Pele. So We've got the big Empyre event. Starts on Wednesday. The obviously there was the precursor, the Kree Skrull War one-shot thing that came out. Whatever. It lost all momentum because of the shutdown. But they had a chance to get back on track. We had Empyre, Avengers number 0, Empyre, Fantastic Four number 0. One was written by Al Ewing, the other written by Dan Slott. And I'll tell you, as someone who wasn't interested in Empyre to begin with,
right,
I am going to review it for the channel just because I think it's going to be bad. I hope I'm surprised, but after reading these 2 fucking 0 issues, I'm less interested in the book. Like the Avengers one is just completely boring. Nothing happens. Yeah. It's just a regurgitation of some past events to get you kind of ready, which is fine. If that's what you want the 0 issue to be, a lot of 0 issues are that. Give it away for free. You don't charge $5 for that. And this Fantastic Four one, it's actually kind of, if you want a nice one-shot Fantastic Four Vegas Vacation style comic book that's somewhat enjoyable, it's not bad. But as a precursor and a lead up into fucking Empyre, it's a nothing burger. There's nothing there. At the end, they have a Kree and a Skrull children that are apparently bred, and they have the entire knowledge of the entire war in between them, and they're going to play a big part. Okay, I get this. There could have been a better way to get to having those kids with the Fantastic Four than them going to Casino Royale or whatever and doing a bunch of illegal gambling and stealing a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I don't get it. This is a million year. You have to understand the context here for the listeners at home and the viewers at home. This is a 1 million year war between the Kree and the Skrulls. They have been fighting for thousands and thousands upon thousands of generations. This is the lead up to the ultimate climax of this entire situation, something that's been going on with Marvel now since the 1960s. Okay, and this is the culmination. This is you get a couple of throwaway nothing issues, and
we know that they're not at war anymore. We don't know why. I'm assuming that
but
will
it's
be
still
explained.
the same part of the same conflict, though. I mean,
But they don't make it feel very important. I'll tell you that.
right. It's boring. It's dull. It's, you had Las Vegas. You had National Lampoon's Las Vegas Vacation, and a reprint issue. Whoopee. Who cares? Nobody bought the damn Avengers book. I've got 3/4 of them still sitting on the damn rack because everybody kind of thumbed through it. Oh, okay. They put it back. Or you've got, the Fantastic Four. Yeah, you're right. It's a decent enough issue within its own. If it was a one shot or like a throwaway issue, like just in continuity, just to kind of separate stories of Fantastic Four. That's great. It's fine. It would fit well within that title. But this isn't a lead up to Empyre. So I just don't.
Yeah, it's
Marvel
crazy. It's
isn't
not just
trying.
you, and it's not just Perch and some of the other retailers I talked to, like Larry and stuff. Like I went and read that Bleeding Cool thing that once a week they do with the best sellers of the week, and it was specifically noted by a couple of retailers in there that unless people were interested in Fantastic Four, they weren't picking it up because there's no fucking interest in Empyre. Somehow Marvel made this enormous, 24 issue fucking event book completely dead on arrival because they don't know how to promote anything. They don't realize that Al Ewing, and I hate to break this to you, I got some viewers that love him. Al Ewing isn't a superstar. Dan Slott is a shot writer. He's not Bendis shot, but he's fucking shot. These aren't superstars anymore. If you want to attach them to a big book, you have to put an actual good, competent writer as the lead to get people excited. People aren't getting excited for those two dudes. They're fucking boring.
Yeah. This is not. This is a nothing. This entire event should have been postponed or canned because nobody cared anymore. After the beer virus, we can't. You can't just come in and say, "Oh, well, we're just going to continue on from where we were." People don't remember that. People aren't going to remember what happened in certain issues, 7-8 months ago. This needed a better lead in. It needed a better writing team to get involved with this. The artwork looks, even if you're just an art motivated comic
I don't like
buyer,
Valerio shitty.
no, it looks awful. From what I've seen of it so far, it looks awful. And, so what does it have going for it? Nothing. It has absolutely nothing fucking
Avengers
going
and Fantastic Four. And it's shocking that you can actually do a cosmic event with a Kree-Skrull War with the Avengers and the Fantastic Four front and center on the event, and no one fucking cares.
No,
How
nobody
did
cares.
CB Cebulski and the Legion of Doofuses manage this time, Pele? I don't get it.
They managed because I don't think they fucking care anymore. I don't think they care about what the stories are or what the continuity is.
They just want to have an event ready. It doesn't matter if it was led up to correctly, if there's if it makes sense in the timing. They just know event B goes in this month. And then
events used to mean something.
Empire.
Wes, events used to mean something. Events were huge things. It was a big situation. It was a big thing whenever you had a super event that pulled multiple teams together and all these superheroes together. An event was something monumentous. I mean, you had all the Secret Wars, you had all the Civil Wars, you had all these things. These were events that meant something, and they brought in readers and they sold like gangbusters. But now we just have slot. Yeah, like you were saying, let's slot event 2 into the July-August window. No, we're tired of this shit. The customer's tired of shit. They're not buying it anymore. Marvel's going to have to completely redo the way they do their event structure because none of this fucking works. And it's just, and either I guess they're just going to have to live with the fact that they're selling, 40,000 copies of an event that should have sold, between 150 and 200,000 copies if they'd handled it, with any kind of, assurance.
Competency.
Completely incompetent.
Yeah.
These are
you know what an
idiots.
event means at Marvel nowadays, or Pele? It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday. Oh,
It's just another
event.
Wednesday because there's a fucking Marvel event. It means absolutely nothing.
No, it doesn't mean shit anymore. And all it means is, we have more, you know, we have more hassle as store owners. We have more hassle, and we have more promotional material that gets sent to us that nobody cares about. So, fuck them.
Yep, it is a shame. And speaking of a shame, let's talk about the last thing we got to get to. We obviously trashed the shit out of Bendis this week. We're gonna do a little bit this week as well with Superman 23. And I will say this. All right, Bendis, I'm gonna say something somewhat nice about you. The new villain that you introduced this week, Xanadoth, when it's just that villain and you were getting an introduction to him, it's actually not bad. Like, the villain seems pretty interesting, and that part's fine. But everything, and I fucking mean everything, involving Superman blows. Whether he's talking to the fucking Wonder Twins, whether he's talking to Justice League Dark, whether he's going in for a fucking counseling session with Dr. Fate, who he's never met before because it's a new version of the character. It's the fucking worst. It's so much Bendis speak. And I wanted to go through the scene with the Justice League Dark and just give you the Bendis speak on that one, but we're going a little long, so I'm going to skip that. Okay. You're fucking welcome, Pele. We talked about the other stuff long enough. I couldn't get into all those details.
Well, just fuck it. Just go for it.
Well, okay. Here. Let's listen to fucking John Constantine talk. This is Superman starting. Justice Leaguers. Oh, hey, Kent. We were not just gossiping about you and your crazy life, and that is coming from us. Ha. Very good to see you, Superman. You too, Zatanna. Lois says hello. I can't magically reverse what you did. Thank you, Zatanna. And you, Constantine. Uh-oh. I heard you were a huge help to Batman last week. Thank you. No problem, Billy. It's Clark. Shh. You're not supposed to tell anyone. John. Him too, Constantine. Do you respect anyone? Where are you and the good doctor off to? We go golfing once a year with Kilwalk.
Oh,
why do I so wish that were true? It's just a conversation. That's him in the Justice League Dark. So fucking...
Somebody fucking shoot me. Oh,
yeah.
That's horrible.
I feel like I was shot. I was shot with Bendis speak. It was like a buckshot right through my fucking face.
Oh, it's so cutesy wootsy. It's so happy.
Everything's
happy.
cutesy wootsy.
God,
it's all fucking quips and bullshit.
It's like, I can't imagine anybody even knowing this person as far as Bendis. How can anybody know him and have any respect or like for him as an individual? He has to probably speak like this himself. It's like, I just want to slap him every moment that I'm around him. It's just so pathetic.
If I read that to my 5-year-old son, he would ask me if there was something wrong with me.
Yeah.
He'd be like, are you stupid? Did something happen to you, Dad? Why would you speak like that? Because your intelligence level has dropped below mine as a 5-year-old. He would even recognize that.
It's sad. It really is. I don't think that he's capable of writing a real gritty, substantive story anymore. Everything has to be quips and barbs and
regurgitation of past events. That's all his stories are. Then talking about what happened in the previous issues.
Yeah, he repeats and repeats and repeats. Even if nothing fucking happened in the previous issues, he's got to repeat that nothing fucking happened. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy that you were able to help Batman.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Who cares?
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? That happened like 3 issues ago, and you keep bringing it up. It's like, just do something new, for God's sakes.
All right, so we gotta get to this last thing before we wrap this up, and this is Superman having like a counseling session with Dr. Fate, who appears to be about 17 years old. They've never really met before. It's a new version of Dr. Fate, and this is essentially Bendis either taking the piss out of himself and being completely meta, talking about all the bullshit that he did with John Kent and Superman and the whole family, or he's being taking the piss out of the readers who have been giving him all this feedback about why it sucks so bad. This is Superman talking to Dr. Fate. After all the diapers and age-appropriate tantrums and all the trouble we get into with that little Robin, I wanted to watch my son grow up. Finally, he was becoming a young man that I could help, mold, and really talk to. And that was taken from you? It was. By your father? I don't blame Jor-El. You don't need to blame. You can just be mad. No, I can't. What does your wife say? Oh, Lois's father recently passed away, very recently in her arms. It was so messy. And the two of them had unresolved issues, deep issues. Wait, her father just died? And your father's alive? Well, no. And it just goes on. I jumped in the middle here, but that's the part where he's kind of taking the piss out of readers for saying that him aging up John Kent was bullshit, and we would rather see Superman be a father. And it just goes on, and it's like 8 fucking pages of that, man. It's unreadable fucking tripe.
Don't anybody out there stop buying these pieces of shit. Stop buying these issues. This won't stop until people just walk away. This is the most aggravating, annoying, good, burns my ass. Oh, even Siri's upset about this. Decided
fucking Siri's had enough of
fucking
Bendis.
Siri's had enough of Bendis. I mean,
and I don't blame her.
Oh, fuck this shit. It's so broken, and I don't know why we keep.
It's a broken
being
fucking
subjected to
record.
this.
It's the same shit over and over and over. And now he's upset because he's got so much negative feedback, because people can read and be like, "Oh, this actually sucks ass." And now he thinks he's being funny.
People hate this shit because it's shit writing. It's poor storytelling. They tell him this, and he doubles down, and he makes it even worse. And he taunts and annoys the fans even further. Just this has got to stop. Somebody as an adult at DC needs to fucking step in and stop this shit. It's ridiculous. And all of you people out there, fans that are listening to this podcast, listening to this video right now, stop buying this crap. Until you stop buying it, we're going to keep getting it, and Superman's going to be a pathetic sack of shit for years until we get rid of Bendis. That's it. It's got to stop. And somebody needs to, get Bendis aside and finally inform him, you're not funny. You're not a quality writer. You suck, and you need to retire from comics.